Morning, everybody. Jim here from Adkins Results Coaching. This is our workshop, our 5-day workshop on reprogramming the subconscious mind. I titled it A Whole New You in 5 Days, right? There are lots of things you can do to reprogram your subconscious mind. What I'd like to remind you of first is what exactly does the subconscious mind do, and why is it necessary to reprogram it? Sometimes it may not be necessary, but yesterday in day one, just this little bit, what we talked about was the subconscious mind replays programs. That's what it does. It's like an old tape machine, and I use this analogy, and I've heard it used a lot, and it's true. If I give you an old cassette tape, and for those of you that don't know what cassette tape is, I'm sorry. But I give you a cassette tape, I have you take it home, you put it in your cassette player, and you push play, and you listen to it, and you go, oh, that's a terrible program. That's a terrible tape. And you walk over to the tape player, and you say, play something else, tape player. It's not going to work. Whatever's on that tape is what you've got. Now, there are ways to find the record button, push record, and put new information on that tape so the next time you play it, it plays what you want to hear. That's how the subconscious works. Now, that's a very basic description, a very generalization of a very sophisticated process, okay? I recommend that you don't make me your end-all, be-all information source for this. If you're interested in how to do this, reach out and look at other experts as well. And I can help you with it for sure, but, do some research if you love it. So a couple of things I asked you to do yesterday, since this is a workshop, I'm going to write down what it is you want at the end of this workshop. What are you looking for? What are you looking to change by the end of this 5 days? For day 2, I still want you to focus on what it actually is that we're doing, okay? What actually is going on in the mind, using the brain and the subconscious to activate our mind. So on that note, let's do this. Most scientists, or people that have studied this, whether they're scientists or not, most people believe that all of us walk around and we're only conscious about 5% of the time. I know, right? So that means 95% of the time we're running a program, rerunning a program on autopilot. Well, what program are we actually running? Running the subconscious program. And that program is the one that you have, whether you did it or other people have done it or society does it, it's the program that's been installed in you. I believe it's a little bit of all of it. Most experts say before the age of 7, most of your beliefs are already installed in that program. So that means by the age of 7, your imagination, your reality, your paradigms, all of your belief systems are put into place. And that's probably a truth, right? You can sit back and blame everybody for the way that you act now because of what happened then, or you can choose to reprogram it. That's what I want to use this 5 days for, is to help you do that. Okay? So let's assume you've had a really rough childhood, or you have beliefs about money that are limiting, or people told you your whole young life you couldn't do that, or you're not supposed to do that, or this is what you're going to be when you grow up, and you believe that. And now you're working really hard to change it. And you find that you're working really hard at a job to do this, or you're working really hard at saving money to do that, or you're working really hard to learn this new set of skills. Anything that you're working really hard at that's not working for you is because your belief system is fighting against it. It's disallowing you to have that success. It's avoiding the process of creation, or avoiding the process of change, because your subconscious is fighting against it. Now, this is very intriguing to me, because I'm a guy who wants to know why. So when I look at the people I help and try to help, and the people that succeed on a massive level, and then there are those that I really need to work with harder to get them through it, I never really stopped to understand what we're learning right now, this journey I'm about to take you on now, until recently, and I mean the last 2 years. If your belief system doesn't support you, you're stuck with memories of the past. And those memories of the past, most people live in the past. Think about this conversation. How many times have you sat to have a conversation with somebody and they discuss the potential possibilities of a wonderful future versus they tell you about what happened in the past? What happened yesterday? What happened 5 minutes ago? What happened to them when they were a child? We spend most of our time discussing and living in our past as opposed to planning and creating our future. When you do that, you're running your subconscious program. Follow me? So let's get through this and let's change our subconscious mind. The first thing you need to do, and one of the first exercises that all experts agree with, is to be mindful. Buddhist mindfulness. Now, when I say Buddhist, I don't mean a religion, okay? I'm not talking about changing your religion. Let's just take out the word Buddhism or Buddhist and say mindfulness. When you're mindful of the moment, you're living with your conscious mind. You're training and creating with your consciousness. Now, your subconscious will recognize that, but will not keep it as a program until it becomes a habit. Habits. We talked about habits and how you set your morning rituals and how rituals can become habits and habits can become the new you. Remember that? If you don't, go back and watch the workshop on rituals or listen now. Creating a ritual and building a good habit that supports you will rewrite your subconscious. Listening to a video like this, your conscious mind understands it. Your consciousness says, yes, I get it. Yes, I want to do it. Yes, I totally understand what you're talking about. I got it. But if you don't reprogram your subconscious and you're not living in a conscious state all the time, that old program starts to replay. And pretty soon you're recreating old habits and nothing is changing. And you beat yourself up and wonder why can't I change? Why can't I make this different? Why can't I understand it? Why can't it happen? Why isn't it happening for me? Well, you're playing that old program and it's powerful. 95% of the time, powerful. If you live consciously 5% of the time and 95% your subconscious is running, you tell me who's dictating your actions. When you start thinking about anything and you're not conscious in the moment, which we do, it's not a bad thing, okay? Your subconscious starts playing and reacting to the stimulation that's in front of it. You could be walking down the street, you could be driving a car, you're thinking about other things, answering questions, how you're going to help people, what you're going to do, what you're going to have for dinner. You're thinking and your subconscious is running the program. How did you learn to drive a car? You practiced, right? You know all the little details. You don't have to get in the car and think, how do I turn on the key? What happens when I turn on the key? Well, the electrical impulse sends a charge to the starter, and the starter kicks over the flywheel, and the flywheel cranks over the crank. And you don't need to know all that to drive your car. Using the pedals, steering, and sometimes a turn signal becomes an obstacle for some people, right? But not for you. Why? You've practiced it. It took you a while to learn it, and now you can do it without thinking. It's subconsciously programmed. So it is absolutely possible to reprogram your subconscious. Now, I will go over that again in the next video. I will repeat this over and over so it becomes a habit and you listen to it and you get it. But now let's talk about what we want to reprogram it with. You need to decide, what lifestyle do you want to have? Who do you want to become? There are definite clues that have been left by the happiness in your memory now. Moments that you just considered the honeymoon phase or the blissful ideas of love or relationship or success or finances, they're in there. And if they're not, you've either seen them somewhere else or felt them in some way, or you wouldn't have a desire to grow towards them. If you only have a desire to move away from something, you don't know where you're going. It's the rocket ship analogy. You get in a rocket ship and you launch, you know you're moving away from this place, but where in the hell are you going? You better have a clue, right? Because you're going to get there pretty fast. You may be there now and you may not even know it. So let's pick a spot. Where are you headed? Pick one thing for this 5 days. One thing to reprogram. You want to be happy? Let's do happiness. You want to be in love? Let's do love. You want to be successful? Let's do successful. I think you guys can do this. Okay. One of the ways you can do it is to be conscious in the moment of happiness or bliss. You go to your state of theta. Theta is the state between delta, which I think is delta, when you're totally asleep and when you're waking up. Okay, there's alpha, theta. I think it's delta. I'll have to go back and relook. But the theta is the relaxed state of mind where the subconscious and the creative tendencies of imagination and the consciousness all become together. The imagination and reality start to blend. When you're waking up in the morning, whatever program you're playing starts to reprogram your subconscious. That's why it's important to wake up and be grateful. Show gratitude for some things that you have in your life that you're really grateful for, and feel it. Don't just say it, feel it. Make it a habit, and it reprograms your mind that you live in abundance. That's one way to reprogram it and change who you are or your state of being in the next 5 days. Does that make sense? Good. So that's one thing you can do, the gratitude statement. 2, people have said that through hypnosis, and what do they say? Psychic kinesiology. And I'm going to look that up because that intrigues me. But hypnosis is one way that works for some people because it takes you to that state and then it reprograms things. But if you want to do like a self-hypnosis, play something before you go to sleep at night. Play a tape, watch a program, listen to inspirational music. Don't turn the news on. Don't, try not to watch a scary movie because when you go to sleep and you wake up, those imaginative states and the reality states are going to start blending, and they'll reprogram your subconscious with the way you think things should be or are because of what you've witnessed or created. Does that make sense? So how much does media play a role in who you are today? There's no blame on media. There's no blame on what you watch or what you listen to. But listen to me for a minute. Everything is food, and what you put in becomes you. It really does. Okay, so that's today. Tomorrow, we're going to go deeper on how to change it. Today, the exercise is simply this. Be in the moment. Think about what it is you want to reprogram and why you want to do it. Is it happiness? Is it love? Is it success? Is it finances? What is it that your subconscious mind is stopping you from developing for yourself? And we're going to start to change it. Good morning, sir. Good to see you. Yeah, Mr. Murray, no, there's no class tonight. Sorry to interject with a personal matter for business here, but we're snowed in out here. I'm imagining that it's probably pretty snowy there. I heard that Kalkaska's still open, but no, nobody's going to be driving under my wishes tonight. So no class in Kalkaska tonight. I'll make it up to you. I'll actually send you guys a video that you can practice if you want to stick on here. I'll give the kids something to do, but no class tonight. Okay, so if you like the video, my son told me to do this at the beginning, and I keep forgetting that. If you like the video, give me the thumbs up. It helps the YouTube channel. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already subscribed. And he said ring a bell, and I don't know if you're supposed to get your own bell or hit some type of a button on here that says to alert you when I go live. I don't know how that works. If you guys are getting the notices when I go live, that's awesome. If not, do it now, and that helps me grow the channel. Okay, so we're getting up there. If you know somebody that likes these types of videos that they can use them, please share them with them. And until I see you tomorrow, on your mark, get set, grow.